What if the reason you feel constantly stressed has less to do with how busy your life is, and more to do with a few small habits you repeat every single day without realizing it? Most people assume stress comes from their job, their schedule, or the endless responsibilities they carry. And yes, those things are real. But what many people never learn is that stress is not just a feeling. It's a biological process happening inside your body. Your nervous system is constantly responding to the signals you give it. And surprisingly, some of the most powerful signals are incredibly small. A breath, a moment of light, or simply the way you begin your morning. The good news is that calming your stress doesn't require a complete life overhaul. Research shows that a few tiny daily habits can shift your nervous system from constant tension into a much calmer state faster than most people expect. In this video, we'll explore 7 small habits that can calm your stress quickly. Simple, science-backed practices you can begin today. And if you enjoy learning practical psychology like this, a quick like and subscribe to SciWave helps the channel keep sharing ideas that make everyday life a little calmer and clearer. Now, let's start with the first small habit, one of the fastest ways to reset your nervous system in less than a minute. 1. Start your morning without your phone. The first few minutes after waking up are surprisingly important for how your nervous system will behave for the rest of the day. During the first 10 minutes after waking, your brain enters a highly sensitive state. Cortisol, the hormone that helps you become alert and energized, naturally rises during this time. In a way, your brain is quietly scanning the environment and asking a simple question: what kind of day is this going to be? If the first signals your brain receives are emails, news alerts, or social media notifications, your mind immediately begins processing information, comparing situations, and anticipating potential problems. Even if none of those things are serious, the brain still interprets the sudden stream of stimulation as something it must react to. As a result, your nervous system shifts into a mild stress response almost instantly. Some people follow a different pattern. Instead of reaching for their phone immediately, they allow their brain a few minutes to wake up gradually. They might drink a glass of water, sit quietly for a moment, or simply move around slowly. This short pause allows the nervous system to transition from sleep into alertness without sudden pressure. And that slower start can set a calmer baseline for the rest of the day. 2. The physiological sigh. One of the fastest ways to reduce stress in the body is something neuroscientists call the physiological sigh. Interestingly, this is not an artificial breathing technique. It is a pattern the body already uses naturally when it needs to calm itself down. The pattern is simple. You take a deep inhale through the nose. Then you take a second short inhale. And finally, you release a slow, extended exhale through the mouth. This breathing sequence performs an important biological function. When stress builds up, some of the tiny air sacs in the lungs can partially collapse, causing carbon dioxide levels in the blood to rise. Higher CO levels can contribute to feelings of anxiety or tension. The second inhale helps reopen those air sacs. The slow exhale then activates the vagus nerve, a major pathway that tells the body it can move from a state of alertness into a state of recovery. As this signal spreads through the nervous system, heart rate slows, muscle tension decreases, and the body gradually returns to equilibrium. Even repeating this breathing cycle just 2 or 3 times can create a noticeable shift in how the body feels. 3. Splash cold water on your face. Another simple habit that produces an immediate biological response is splashing cold water on your face. When cold water touches the skin around the eyes and the bridge of the nose, it activates a reflex known as the mammalian dive reflex. This reflex exists in many mammals and is designed to help the body conserve energy and stabilize itself when exposed to cold water. Once triggered, the reflex slows the heart rate, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, and reduces the body's stress response. What makes this response remarkable is how quickly it happens. You do not need long exposure to cold water. Even splashing cold water on your face several times in the morning can send a powerful signal to the nervous system that it is safe to relax. In just a few seconds, the body begins shifting away from stress and toward calm. 4. Step outside for 5 minutes. Natural light plays a critical role in regulating the brain's internal clock. This internal clock, known as the circadian rhythm, controls sleep cycles, hormone release, energy levels, and emotional stability. Inside the retina of your eyes are specialized cells designed to detect natural daylight. When daylight reaches these cells, they send signals directly to the brain's circadian control center. This signal helps the brain understand that a new day has begun. As a result, hormone rhythms stabilize, and the nervous system becomes more balanced. Just 5 to 10 minutes of exposure to natural daylight can significantly influence this process. It does not require a long walk or a complicated routine. Sometimes simply stepping outside, standing on a balcony, or opening a window can provide enough light to activate this system. 5. Slow down your exhale. Stress has a clear effect on breathing. When people feel anxious or overwhelmed, their breathing often becomes fast and shallow. This breathing pattern signals the nervous system that the body is still in a state of alertness. However, changing the rhythm of the breath can reverse that signal. One simple approach is to focus on extending the exhale. For example, inhaling for about 4 seconds and then exhaling for 6 to 8 seconds. The extended exhale activates the parasympathetic branch of the nervous system. This system is responsible for rest, digestion, and recovery. As it becomes more active, heart rate slows, muscles relax, and the body gradually shifts away from stress. After just a few breathing cycles, many people notice that the physical intensity of stress begins to soften. 6. Release stress through body movement. In the natural world, animals often display an interesting behavior after a stressful event. They shake their bodies. This shaking helps release the excess energy created by stress hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol. Humans possess the same biological mechanism. However, social environments often encourage people to suppress these physical responses. Even when the nervous system is activated, people tend to remain still and controlled. As a result, some of the stress energy can remain stored in the body. Gentle movement can help complete the stress cycle. Small actions such as stretching, shaking the hands, loosening the shoulders, or moving around for a few minutes allow the body to release that built-up tension. These movements help the nervous system return to balance more efficiently. 7. Share one good thing with someone. The final habit involves social connection. A study from the University of North Carolina found that people who regularly share small positive moments with others tend to report higher life satisfaction and stronger emotional resilience. Interestingly, the positive moments do not need to be significant. They can be simple things: a pleasant conversation, a good meal, or a small moment that made the day feel easier. When people share these moments with someone else, the brain revisits the experience and reinforces the positive emotion connected to it. This process strengthens social bonds and creates a buffer against stress. Over time, these small exchanges of positive experiences can play an important role in maintaining emotional stability. What makes 7 small habits that calm your stress quickly? Everyone should know surprising is that real calm rarely comes from dramatic life changes. More often, it grows from quiet signals the body already knows how to use. If some of these patterns felt familiar, that's not a coincidence. It usually means your nervous system has been trying to guide itself back to balance all along. And once you begin to notice these small signals, another question naturally appears. Why do some people seem to maintain that calm almost effortlessly? In the next video, we'll explore psychology says the happiest people do these 7 small habits daily, and the subtle psychological patterns behind them. Because sometimes the difference between constant pressure and quiet happiness is much smaller than most people imagine. If this kind of psychology helps you understand yourself a little more clearly, you're always welcome here on SciWave.